Welcome to Mobile Math, Math Lessons on the Go. Today's learning goal, by the end of this lesson, I should be able to subtract positive numbers from other numbers, either positive or negative, without the use of a calculator or technology. This is part 1 of 2. So let's just have a few quick definitions. So when we are asked to find the difference of two numbers, we are being asked to subtract or take away one number from the other. So difference, subtract, take away, they all have similar meaning in mathematics. Just so we're clear on how these operations are written, when we are looking at subtracting a positive number, this is how we will write it, versus subtracting a negative number, where you'll see there's use of brackets around the negative value, so we could keep track of that negative sign. So let's get our brains warmed up for subtracting with something like 6 minus 4. So this is 6 positive chips, take away 4 positive chips. So you'll notice down here in the integer chip model, I've got 6. I'm going to highlight 4, and then I'm going to hit delete. And 4 of those disappear, and I am left with an unbalanced 2 positive chips, and that is my answer. So let's try something a little more challenging here. Oops, I'm going to start with negative 4. Down here on the side, right here is my negative 4, and I'm going to take away 2 positive chips. Everything's getting highlighted here. So I've highlighted the 2 positive chips, and then I'm going to hit delete, and they're going to be removed, and you'll now see that I have an unbalanced 6 negative chips. So I could think of this also as when I'm subtracting positives, I'm actually making things more negative. So I increased from negative 4 to negative 6, if you want to think of it that way. We'll do a little comparison here of two ideas that are very similar, as we will see. If I have 5 plus negative 2, that's I'm adding 2 negative chips to my positive 5 group. So if I add 2 negative chips, you could see that these will zero out, and I'm left with an unbalanced value of positive 3. If I come over to the right-hand side example, 5 minus 2, this is take away 2 positives from my group of 5 positives. So if I highlight those and hit delete, they disappear, and again I am left with an unbalanced value of positive 3. Now there's a connection here we want to try and make, which will be our first big idea for subtraction. And that is adding a negative value gives the same result as subtracting a positive value. So adding a negative value gives me the same result as subtracting a positive value. This is a really powerful technique for when we have to solve larger problems. We'll be able to rewrite questions in friendlier formats for our brains to work on. So let's try one here. I'm going to look at the left-hand side first. So I have negative 3, minus 2, minus 1. So I have 3 negative chips. I'm going to take away 2 positive chips, followed by taking away 1 positive chip. So my negative 3 is right here. When I highlight my 2 negative chips and I hit delete, you'll see it's increased in its negative value. And then I'm going to subtract or take away 1 more positive chip, and I end up with a final value of 6 negative chips, or negative 6. If we look at the right-hand side, this is where I'm going to implement the big idea. Instead of subtracting a positive, I might write that as adding a negative. So I'm going to start with negative 3, and then I'm going to add negative 2 chips to this problem. So I'll add 2 negative chips. And then again, with the subtracting one on this left-hand side, I could rewrite that as adding a negative 1. So if I add 1 more negative 1, we get to see again that we have the same answer of negative 6. So if you would like to pause the video for 1 second here and take a look at these two, I have them started and set up in a chip model ready for you. So just hit pause, and then we'll take a look at what your solutions are. Okay, welcome back. So on the left-hand column, I have my 5 positive chips. Now I'm reading this as take away 4 positive chips and take away 3 positive chips. So if I highlight those 4 positive chips and hit delete, I highlight the next 3 positive chips and I hit delete, this first pair of chips balances out, and I am left with a final value of negative 2. Over here in the right-hand example, I'm starting with negative 4. And I am reading this as take away 3 positive chips. So if I highlight those 3 positive chips and delete, and then I'm following that with taking away 1 more positive chip. So I highlight that one and hit delete. And if I count up the number of unbalanced chips, I should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 8 chips is my final answer. So thank you for watching. Please watch again and pause where you may have had difficulties, and good luck in your future math problems.